I want to show you how our economic developers use Impact Dashboard to determine the economic and fiscal impact of a project and determine the ROI of an incentive package. So let's imagine we're considering a recruitment project where the company plans to hire 100 workers and make a capital investment of $30 million. Let's looking at our screen here, we're isolating the impact to the city. And we can see that the direct jobs may drive some additional indirect and induced employment in the area. There's a lot being summarized here, but what I want to focus on are the net benefits generated by the project. This represents the value of this project to the city. So when we look at all the different revenues that this project may generate, as well as the costs that the city may bear in providing services to the new businesses or to the new worker households, we've projected out over a period of 10 years that 2.4 million in benefits, 700,000 in costs, leaves us with about $1.7 million of net benefits over the next 10 years. Now, if we think of this potential infrastructure grant that the city is considering of $400,000, we think of that as an investment in the project. We can compare that $400,000 investment to the $1.7 million of net benefits to be generated by the project. So as we do that down here, what we can see is that it's going to take the city 1.8 years, so just under 2 years, to collect enough in net benefits to pay back that $400,000 incentive. We can also calculate an average annual rate of return on the $400,000 incentive and see about 42% average annual rate of return. Now, this is great. We could actually make this a little bit more complicated if we want. We could actually layer on an additional incentive. Maybe we go back to our public support area and maybe we want to add a property tax abatement on the building so that the city is going to offer, let's say, 100% property tax abatement, and that's going to reduce the property tax that we're expected to get. So the city, they thought they were going to get about 1.1 million just in the property taxes, but this abatement is going to be valued at about $450,000. So the city will only net about $650,000. So the effect here is that it's going to take our net benefits from 1.7, it's going to reduce it by about $450,000. So going back to our report, we can see the net benefit now, the value of this project drops to 1.2 million. And what's that do for our incentive analysis on that $400,000 infrastructure grant? It's going to reduce it's going to extend our payback period from 1.8 years to 2 years. And it's going to lower our rate of return from 42% down to 30%. So all of these incentives can be evaluated and stacked on top of each other, and you can evaluate kind of that ROI and payback period. Now, there's a lot going on with our software. I'll just show you briefly. We can kind of come into our settings and maybe adjust things. If we need to extend this over maybe 15-year analysis, we can do that. So now we'll be projecting out the project impacts for 15 years instead of 10. So all of these things are just models and elements that you can configure for your analysis. I'm going to close out of here. And what I'm showing on this screen is the idea that we can create multiple scenarios to evaluate different types of projects. And so we can see here, we're previewing the one that we were most recently looking at here. We can also see some of these other incentives or other scenarios. Now, the other thing that we see on this screen is the data form, and this is actually how we're going to get the information into the model to begin with. So we've received 2 different data forms. One is kind of the initial one, and then one that was revised, and we can create scenarios using that data form. But we can also just take a look at what does it look like when someone submits a data form to us. And in this case, this is our data form that was submitted a few months ago. It's a revision of an earlier one. And we've got a bullet point summary of the key details that they've provided about their project. We can continue to scroll down and see every single field that prospect told us. From the prospect side, they're just going to be asked for their input. So this is what it looks like if someone was filling out the data form. So the prospect receives a link to a website, or you can post a link on your website for them to fill out the data form. And then they're going to go through a series of fields here, just asking them for details about their project. And you, as the Impact Dashboard user, can configure this data form to include the aspects of and information that you would want to clarify. If we take a look at the way that all of this comes together, there's really no setup required on the part of the economic developer. Impact data source economists will prepare your model to include your actual local tax rates and incorporate all aspects of your local tax structure. So we'll incorporate all the relevant economic and demographic data so that the results are specific to your area. And we'll do this for all the local districts, whether it's the city and the county and the school district and whatever other taxing jurisdictions may apply. And then in addition to that, as you start to use the model, all the training and support is included. So initially, we'll show you how to use the model and assist you in evaluating projects. And then throughout the year, when you have questions, you can reach out to us and we can help you evaluate your projects. Just the final thought here is some information to contact us at impactdatasource.com. Impact Dashboard will help you simplify these complex impact studies for economic development projects and empower you to make more informed decisions.